Hi, it's Amelie. Today we're going to work on the four seasons, the summer. It's one of the movements. There are four movements of the four seasons by Vivaldi. And if you have any question during the live stream, you can ask them and I'll answer them right away, especially if it's about what we're playing. And if they are more general about the flute, I'll answer them at the end. So, yeah. And this video is sponsored by Tomplay, so we're going to use their app. And it's a great app. You'll be able to see on the screen as I play along with the recording of the orchestra. So when you have Tomplay, you have access. Let's say you buy the Vivaldi Four Seasons or any other piece that they have. You get the flute part alone. You get the flute and orchestra or flute and piano, and you also get the accompaniment by itself. So you can work in many different ways. Okay, so I guess I start now? Yeah. Okie dokie, let's start. Wasn't ready. Okay, because I was not looking in the right spot. Okay. Start there. So, Vivaldi's Four Seasons, it's programmatic music, so we don't know who wrote the sonnets, like poems that go along with the piece, with the different movements, but it might be him, it might be someone else, but I'll read you, like for the first movement, allegro non molto, means allegro, but not too much, not too much. Okay, so under a hard season, fired up by the sun, languishes man, languishes the flock, and burns the pine, we hear the cuckoo's voice. So the languishing part is really where it's written, languidesa per il caldo, okay? And there when we see the cuckoo, then it's a cuckoo coming. So there we hear the cuckoo's voice. Then sweet songs of turtle doves and finch are heard. That's a bit later in the piece when we hear la tortella. Tortorella, it's the turtle dove. So that's a turtle dove. And the finch are heard. Soft breezes stir the air, but threatening the north wind sweeps them suddenly aside. So the north wind, I guess it's when you go to a ta-da-dee, 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 ta-da-da, ta-da-da, ta-da-da. Oh no, you hear it here when you get the vento borea at bar 90. It's the north wind. That's the north wind. And the shepherd trembles, fearing violent storms and his fate. And I think that's it for that movement. So we're going to start with that. We might just do one movement today because there are three, but We'll see how much time we have, because it's pretty long, all that. Yeah.
Somebody said that it looks rather difficult to articulate.
Yeah, yeah, but the thing is, in that version, they don't put a lot of articulations. I don't think I'm gonna play it like that, because I looked at it a little bit while you were taking care of technical issues, and what I would do is a lot of the scales going down, I would slur them, because I think it makes it sound more like a whole instead of taka 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 taka. And when it's the repeated notes, I will tongue them, so that's gonna be way easier. Okay, so I'll go back from the languidesa. So that's the languishing, it's hot and no energy kind of thing when it's very warm in the summer. Oh, and I read somewhere that Vivaldi didn't like the summer so much because he had asthma, he had pulmonary problems, so summer was very difficult for him.
Someone also saying you should do the 24th Caprice as well eventually.
Yeah. Do you think the first note should be more? No. Yeah, that's pretty simple and straightforward. I would just play it the way it is.
Baroque.
Yeah, with little, see, like little stops between some notes, you know, just giving them a little space in between sometimes. Not when it's slurred, obviously, but. When you play those things going down, especially, you have to make sure you really slur and you really use the air, because it's easy to go like this. And there's no energy there, especially when it goes down. We have so you have to think about really. Oh, what have I done? Even if it's piano, just energy, not more volume. And you have that repeated phrase that you put an octave lower, but even if the octave, I'm sorry, even if the octave changes the color a little bit, I would also try to change it consciously. Sorry. Catch a little cold. So, let's go from the cuckoo now. So that's a bit more intense. Okay, I'll try it without the... maybe I'll try it with the accompaniment, but slower, huh? I can put it at 1/3 of the speed.
Yeah,
so I go minus.
Yeah.
And I put the thing here. Oh. Wait. I think I'll put it even slower, just so I can understand what's going on with the accompaniment. Oh, it's just 3 beats that they give before? I thought it was 4, so I always... Okay.
You can ask for 2 in the settings. Would you like 2?
No.
No? You can do a
It's
count
3?
up right there like that, so now
Can
you
you
can
put...
add 2. See?
Okay.
If you want.
So it's going to be 2 beats and then I start?
I think so. Give it a shot.
Okay. It's not clear to me, like it did 6 this time. Time before. Okay, just let's put it back to where it was. It gives 3. I get it. It's 3. Okay. So I'll count 3 beats because it's in 4. I would have expected 4 beats. to listen to that without playing. 2, 3. Okay, I'll try now. So you see, it's not always about having your flute all the time when you practice.
Studying the tempo. Maybe
it might be, yeah.
Study without it, I guess.
I would study without the accompaniment as well. It's not just now we're doing this, so I'm going a bit faster, but in, you know, because I don't want it to be boring. But
the lady from Ottawa is listening, and they had a tornado. They used electricity back now.
Oh my God, she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Okay, it depends. For me, it's not too slow, but it could be too slow, you know. But I don't always practice with the accompaniment anyways, you know. Sometimes I stop and I'm like, oh, where am I going to breathe there? Because that's really the problem. Because it's written for the violin, not the flute. And they don't need to breathe. Well, they need to breathe, but not to play. So, I had little ideas. I'll do it again, but... So I'm going to breathe after the first note of the bar. I'm going to breathe. If you need to do it every bar, you do it every bar. I don't need to, so I'm going to do it every 2, 3, 4 bars. It depends, you know. Wait. No, that's not a good spot. Yeah, that's good. So at bar 36, I'm going to breathe there after the first beat, the first note, I mean. Okay. So here after the D at bar 39, always after the first note of the bar. And at 41, after the P, flat. I think I'm gonna do it see. Okay, I'll try it I'll try it once and see if I put enough breathing marks. It's good to put your breathing marks so you can train yourself to breathe there instead of breathing everywhere and or not enough or too much, or because sometimes also we breathe too much for nothing. And there you see all those high G's or all the high notes, they're kind of the accompaniment, you know. The skeleton of the music there is understand the principle of it. The rest, it's not as important. So if in your mind those notes are clear, it's going to be easier technically and musically. Yeah, I didn't breathe enough before. Okay, so I'll write down to take a huge breath there. Oh, sorry. No question?
No, you're just wondering where to get Tom play.
Okay, I'll just blow my nose again. I'm very sorry. Okay, I'm ready. But I think I would have needed more air. So I'm gonna move them one bar ahead. So I'm gonna breathe at 38 instead of 39. And then again, I think I'm gonna breathe at, maybe I'll do it every 2 bars. 40, and here at 42. And then I'm gonna have a little bit more, so I think I'm gonna be able to go to the end. Maybe I'll do that from there with the recording a bit faster this time. I'm gonna try it. Okay, so I go from B, I press plus. I'm gonna try. Tempo, so that's also more difficult on the breathing. So I think I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna try the real tempo. Okay.
Somebody's wondering how you could play with this cold. She sounds great.
Yeah, I don't think it affects me that much, the cold.
Everyone's saying you're amazing for playing with the cold. She's amazing.
Thank you. Okay, I'll try at the real tempo now. to speed up there, yeah.
They speed it up too, yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that's, I think we took care of that part with the cuckoo.
Yeah.
And if you feel it's too difficult, you can also skip a note. You know, right now I breathe between two notes, but you could just skip the second one. You could do... You see, you just skip it and you breathe during that note. It would be fine too, it would work. But if you don't have to, you can just do as I did it. Okay, so that's good.
Someone said I need to take a nap after hearing that, and I'm not even playing.
That's funny. Okay, la torterella. Okay, so you have this. It's very cute. It's beautiful. I forgot to play at the octave the first time, but after I realized it when I went. Okay, and then you have that G and D. And I was looking at it this morning, and so you do the trill with the pinky here. Do you do it like that?
You can.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I prefer this one, so I'll use this one. So, and then you go kata kata. And then I was trying to do this. Okay, now I was able to do it just when I wanted to show that it's difficult, and I was not able to do it this morning. So I thought maybe it would be a bit easier to do an alternate fingering, and I started searching, and then I think that works. So you do the G, and then here you take your middle finger here, and then on the other little spatula you put your index, and you go kata 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 kata, like a trill almost. It's easier to go fast. I think it sounds okay. It sounds good. And it's better than doing it with the real fingering and it doesn't come out the way you want it to. Okay, so maybe I do that again?
Probably.
Okay. Where should I start? Maybe at C. Maybe just a bit before C. Okay, here. That's perfect. Okay, I'll go from there.
People are thinking it sounds amazing.
That's nice.
That's marvelous. Amazing.
So you see here, it's very interesting because you always have one bar repeating pianissimo, or so just make sure you do that because it's nice to have it. I usually breathe after the first note of the bar. You see, like that. Breathing is something in there. Here at Vento Borea, I don't know if I should do slurred or tongued. easier than. Let's hear the violins and see how they do it, like what it sounds like. Yeah, it sounds pretty articulated. Maybe I'll tongue it there. And also I'll have to make sure I have enough air because that's forte. So I'll have to pack on air. So I think what I'm gonna do is like 4 bars before that. Whenever I'll breathe on every bar. I'll go. Gonna help. I have no choice because I won't have enough air.
So the dramatic effect is pretty much there.
Yeah. So I'll do it from the other part because if I just practice that part, it's pretty easy. Like it's pretty easy. You have to learn it, and like I say, usually you can practice it with different rhythms. You start slowly and you increase with a metronome, and you also group things, seeing, oh, that's a scale. I don't have to think about every note. I put my thumb on the B flat and then I go down, and you know, grouping things. I think I talked a lot about it in our last just practicing. So let's say here at bar 90, it's like you could think it's F major, you know, because you just have a B flat, and then you start having a D sharp and a B natural. So you could think you're in, well, it's D minor melodic, you know. So yeah. That's the easiest way, you know, to group things. Am I talking loud enough? People hear me? Yeah. Okay. So if I just practice that part, for me it's not that difficult because I see it as scales and I learned my scales before. So what is difficult for me is doing the transition. So I'm going to practice the transition from 82. Made bad notes there. When I make a bad note, I write it down right away. I don't think, oh, next time I'll think of it. No, because my brain probably memorized it that way now, and if I don't put a sign, I'm gonna memorize it even more that way. I'm gonna reinforce that mistake every time, or at least once every couple of times I play it. I don't want that, so I'm gonna write it down right away. So from E. So here E flat. You see, I'm just trying to see for the notes. I'm not trying to be seeing if, I'm just trying to see if it's clear in my head what's going on there. And also it's very long, that piece. Right now I'm doing it all at once, but usually I wouldn't advise you to do that. Like it's like in those shows, don't try this at home. because it's a lot to learn it at once. So if you want to learn a piece like that, you know, one page at a time, and you repeat things until it becomes easy, and you can see the patterns, and you can see the groups of notes. And once that becomes easier, you go to the next and the next and the next. And also, don't always start your practice with the first page, because that, you know, you're very focused in the beginning of your practice, and then by the third, fourth page, you're not that focused anymore. So sometimes you can start by the third page or fourth page. I advise you to have a little book, a practice book, where you write where you stopped. And then what I used to do was to write where I stopped, and then in parentheses write what I would do the next day. So the next day, instead of taking my flute and wondering, what am I going to practice today, I would open my book and say, oh, that's what yesterday at the end of the practice, I thought I would practice today. Because when you finish a practice session, it's very clear to you where you are and what needs to be done. But the next day you might not remember. So it's good to write it down. I do it when I teach all the time. I write down where we finished and where I want to take from, because, you know, I want to be efficient. So I think it's more efficient like that. So I hope that's a helpful tip.
Yeah, they were like that. Tip.
Yeah, because we forget, you know. Okay, I'm going to take from the same spot, I think, and try not to make mistakes with the notes. From E, I guess, yeah. I'm too slow. Okay, too slow. So this, I guess, we'll think in one. Da na 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 na. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Like a circle. I like thinking of rhythm like that. 1, 2, 3, 1. Because you feel like that force, like that physical force. That is rhythm, that is pulse, you know? You get that sense of it's going up and it's going down. And I know a lot of people asked us about rhythm lately. And playing with a tennis ball, you know, you put a piece like that and you can use the tennis ball and feel, you know, you really feel the pulse, and you can see, you know, that physical force while you do it. I'm going to make a couple of videos about how to work on that, but like that's the gist of it, you know, feeling that circular or that motion, you know. I don't feel it that fast. Do you? It's a bit fast. I always thought that part was like Il pianto del I don't speak Villanello. I guess it's some Where's my phone? I had all the poem there. Which part of the poem is that? I don't know. I thought it would be more lyrical, you know?
Maybe not yet.
Soft breezes stir the air, but threatening the north wind sweeps them. Yeah, okay. So that's the sweet breezes, I guess. Yeah, I guess I see that breeze a bit slower and they see it a bit faster.
Yeah.
But I have to adapt, I guess. But I would see it like... But I'll do it a bit faster.
Romantic in itself.
Yeah, I think so. And it's a Baroque piece. Yeah, you're right. You're right. end, they do a big rallentando, and I was looking on my part because I write stuff on my part. I'll go from, not from the whole thing. Maybe here. Okay. Yeah, and here I'm gonna change the articulation. I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do ta ta ha ta ha ha ta ha ha ta ta. I'm just gonna listen to what they do. Yeah, you see there the cello does ta ta ta. So it's gonna be the flute's gonna go ta ta tam tam tam. It's gonna go well together. I'm gonna do it from there. I didn't do what I said I would do. At the very end, huh?
You're almost at the end.
Yeah, at the very end, I needed more air, so I'm gonna write down to breathe way more. What I'm gonna do here, I have a big rest, so I'm gonna empty my lungs during that rest, and this way I'm gonna be able to fill them up even more. I'm gonna try this, see if it works or if I'm just saying stuff. No, I tried it before in other pieces, but I'm gonna try from there again. I'm gonna get it this time. That's how I practice. I can do it. Yeah, I got it, but at the end I was not that comfortable. Okay, so here, should we do it all detached? I might breathe here. What do they do? I'm gonna try to emulate them. It's not all detached. I could do. one slurred and one tongue, that makes a difference in your bit overcomplicated maybe, huh? I don't know. But I like the ta 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 ta. So I start by 2 at 163. You see, when we focus on things, we have focused attention and we have diffuse attention. And focused attention, it's like that, you know, I'm like, oh, should I do this or that? And diffuse attention is when you're doing something else. And then sometimes you have a eureka moment, you know, oh, that's what I should do. And when I'm not sure, I don't just stay there. I go to something else and then I go back to that problem later because, you know, there's things going on there in the background while you're doing other stuff, even while you're doing the dishes or taking a walk or whatever you have to do. So when you feel that there's a wall, instead of trying to go through the wall, just do something else and come back and you might find the solution later. And it's, yeah, this way you keep a better relationship with your flute, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so here I slur. Is it better all tongued or if I slur like or you don't know? I like that. No, you think it's a bit much? Ta-ta, ta-ta, taka-taka, ta-ta, ta-ta, taka-taka-ta. Huh? No?
Recorders don't do that much.
Recorders?
Yeah, because that was written for recorders.
No, it was written for the violin.
Well, I mean, like, they wouldn't, I think they would just articulate.
They don't, like,
no? Okay.
some things sound slurred to me.
Okay, sure.
Like, just like this note, like the F sharp at 165 and the B flat at 167, they're both important. So we have to make sure there's something going on there. Oh, maybe it's...
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Ta-tam. And then you just slur that last beat. Ta-ka-ta-ka-ta-ka-ta-ta, ta-ka-ta-ka-ta-ka-ta-ta. Okay. And then I think when we go to the bar 167, it sounds more like ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta instead of ta-ka-ta-ka-ta. Because the important note is the bottom note. Yeah, so I'll do ta 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 ta. This way it's easier and it sounds better. Like ta 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 ta.
Somebody said if the slur is a bit cleaner, then the slur might be the best.
Yeah, if it sounds cleaner, like the result is the important thing,
Yeah,
really.
Exactly.
People that listen to you, they're like, oh, she slurred and said, no, they hear the, you know, it's like when you look at a painting very close and you take a step back, it's not the same impression. Here, I'm not sure. I'm gonna... Maybe I'll do... No. Nah, I'm not sure. Oh, sorry. And it's 4 times the same thing, huh? So they do it in a crescendo, I guess, or maybe what I'll do is the first one I do forte, and then the next one I do a bit softer, and then it gives me some space to do a crescendo until the end. But for the maybe like that.
It's really a dramatic effect. Yeah, it's really a dramatic effect. It's really good. Farfel said, my band director says that the audience is not following a score, so they won't notice if you slur tongue or skip a note to breathe.
Yeah.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
But there's better.
You have a layout though, just in case so you can attain it.
And there are better places to skip notes than others. You know, there are better notes that can be skipped, because if it's a note that's very important, it's gonna be heard a bit more. But even that, even when you make a clear mistake, the audience doesn't get. They want the whole experience. It's not about one note here and there. It's the emotions that you portray. I think it's the experience, really. See. I don't like it like that though. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like that. But like, there's no right or wrong. It's just how I feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable in another way, it's good too. Maybe, maybe I might do from there again, and just do the end, and then I'll take the questions that were more general. Except if people want me to do the second movement, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh, and I slurred this time, and I thought it was fine. So I might change my mind tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe I should also practice it slower, that part, you know. Right now I'm getting a bit tired with the cold and everything, so I don't feel like playing it slower, but maybe tomorrow I'll practice it slower, that part. So, anyone had it? People would like me to play the whole thing?
Not the whole thing, but what you just practiced.
Like the first movement. I'll try, because there's page turns that I'm not sure I'm able to do, because I like following on my music, like my old habits.
Can you fold the pages so you can grab them?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Okay, I'll do my best. Okay.
We can also turn off the red line so it doesn't confuse you, because it's always a bit ahead.
Yeah, but what am I doing here? Is there a button you can press and it goes back to the beginning, or you have to?
Bring it all the way to that. It'll be there. It's almost there. Super slide.
What? I went back to D. Okay, I'm not good at that.
You want to go back to the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks. My movement was probably not so good.
Going too fast, maybe. There it is. turn off the cursor. It might be better.
But I still need the count off.
Yeah, the count-off's still there.
I'll remove my shirt. I'm a bit cold. My sweater. Okay. Okay, press it.
Mm-hmm.
this way. See
Yeah.
also where I have to practice and
Exactly.
like that little part where there's a retardando. It's not written, but I'll write it down now so I don't forget
We
it.
might pre-record the second and third movement just practicing, you know? We might just do like a pre-recording of them and then put them out as extensions.
The third.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or we can do them another week.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are like, bravo, very, very cool.
Retardando.
It's a great last movement. It's a great movement. The beginning, all the unison, all the 2D stuff. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
He's a master of 2D.
Yeah, and he was not like, let's say Bach was all into fugues, and he's more into like beautiful melodies that you can remember, and
Exactly.
yeah, that's nice. But both are nice, but it's just, that's nice. Any question?
No questions. Maybe you want to just talk about online studio. And
Yeah,
so Tom
so-
play first,
okay.
and then Flute Center in New York then.
So, yeah, so this video was sponsored by Tomplay, and this is the app that we used for the whole video, and it's a very cool app, as
Yeah,
you
you can use it on
can see.
tablet,
You can use it on tablet, on phones, on
No,
computers.
phone's too small, so it's not compatible.
Oh
on
yeah, you
phones,
can
but
see.
Tablet, yes, and
And
you can use it on
normal
your browser.
computers?
On your browser. It's not a program. It's actually all run inside your browser, like
Okay.
Chrome and stuff like that,
Okay.
or Firefox or whatever.
Do people hear you right now?
A little bit. You can hear you too.
Okay, because you should be heard, because I'm not just going to repeat
All the
everything I
informations
say.
are in the bottom.
Okay, all the informations are in the bottom, and yeah, you know, you can change the tempo and practice in different ways, and if you're not sure, you can also put the flute. They have a flute part, and you can play along with the flute, so it's even easier. So that's it for that. If you're interested in taking lessons with me, because we have requests often, we have online studio now, and you can email us at info at theflutechannel.com, and we will give you all the information. You can take 30-minute lessons and an hour lesson, and you can take every week or every 2 weeks or just one, and that's we're pretty flexible, and it works well because we see each other and I hear well, and as long as you have good lighting and I can hear you well, it's all fine.
And we can help you with that as well if you have
Yeah, if you're
you
not
want us to
sure
set you
about
up.
what you need, we can help you with that.
Yeah.
There's no problem. And so I think people really like the online lessons.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they tell me.
And they keep coming back.
Yeah, they come back and they say they love it. So I love it too. I love teaching. So that's very fun. And if you are looking for a flute, because also a lot of people ask us about flutes, you can use the Flute Center of New York. They have the biggest selection in the world, and they have a good way of doing it, you know, because they send you the flutes and you can try them, because you need to try them before you buy them. And we have a code. It's TFC, and when you use our code, it helps us, and you also get perks. You get longer warranty, and you get more flutes that you can try.
You can try for 10 days.
And you can
instead
try
of-
for longer, and it's all in the description
Yeah.
below.
Flutes for sale.
And so you go on flutesforsale.com, or you call the Flute Center of New York and you give our code TFC, and it benefits both of us, and it helps us to make better videos and more videos. And I think that's it. So there were no questions?
No, everyone's just saying bravo, and everyone's really liked what you were doing, and they talked a little bit about the articulations and stuff. They were agreeing and like what things were.
Yeah.
They liked the exploration that you did.
Yeah, I think it's important to explore. When I was younger, I used to take the text that was given to me and be like, oh, some god came before me and wrote those down, so I'm not allowed to change anything. But you know, that's a Baroque piece. Baroque composers didn't really write articulations, so it's not like the composer wanted it like that. It's an editor, or so you can also be your own editor and pick what sounds good. And anyways, even composers, I've worked with living composers, and sometimes I would change a little articulation or a little something, and very often they love it because they want their music to be beautiful. That's also well, it depends on the music. Sometimes that's not the point, but you know, the result is what counts. So sometimes they write it in a certain way because they have something in mind. But if if you play, they tell you what they have in mind and you find a better way to do it, they're usually thrilled about it. So it's not about the music here is a blueprint. It's not what we do is the finish work. You know, it's like a blueprint for a house. We're the house. Like our work is the house. That's a blueprint. So
Cool.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Since there are no questions.
Oh.
Okay.
Everyone's speechless. That's what they're saying.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and see you next time. Thanks for watching.